DICE's decision to shun 21st century warfare in favour of a World War I setting was met with both excitement and scepticism. After all, how many first-person shooter World War I video games can you name? Or World War I games of any genre for that matter? Verdun? Case in point. Now, less than a month after its release, Battlefield 1 has been met with universal praise, and deservedly so. But having strafed the opposition on Suez, stalked my way through the Argonne Forest, and blasted a path through Ballroom Blitz, I've been left wanting. And that's standard Battlefield fare, because there's still oodles of content to come. The question is, what's that likely to be? Here are 5 things I want to see in Battlefield 1's DLC. Number 1. Dedicated plane battles. I'm a fan of Star Wars Battlefront, but one of the modes I rarely play is Fighter Squadron, and yet I thoroughly enjoyed Battlefield 1's Friends in High Places. These missions are part of the single-player campaign as you take to the skies in a Bristol F2, downing enemy fighters and attacking Zeppelins. This was a highlight of the campaign for me, and although aircraft are available to fly during most multiplayer matches, they're difficult to get hold of, and that makes perfecting your flying a rather difficult feat. How great would it be to have a multiplayer mode like Battlefront's Fighter Squadron in which you could simply dogfight with human opposition? Number 2. Trench warfare. Think World War I, and likely the first thing that comes to mind is trench warfare. But really, Battlefield 1 doesn't contain much of it at all. Now, trench warfare is a relatively loose term, but I'm talking about the network of trenches on the Western Front, mud, barbed wire, and no man's land. We get a taste of it on St. Quentin's Scar, but I'd like to see a map that's entirely a network of trenches. This would lend itself particularly well to games of Rush, with advances into enemy reserve trenches and vice versa. I will note that DICE have announced They Shall Not Pass, set to be the first portion of paid DLC. This will introduce the French as a faction, and has led some to believe that Verdun, and perhaps the Somme, themed maps are incoming also. More trench warfare might be on its way. Number 3. The battles. I've already mentioned the possibility of Somme and Verdun themed maps, but there are many more key battles, including the British Expeditionary Force's first proper engagement with German forces at the Battle of Mons, and the boggy, waterlogged mud pit that was Passchendaele. These are all key events, and I'd certainly like to see them realised. Number 4. Cavalry Charges. One of the Battlefield 1 trailers shows a 5-horse cavalry charge, yet most maps only appear to limit 2 horses per team. This would only be appropriate on certain maps, or maybe as part of a new game mode, but proper cavalry charges are non-existent, and it's something that would be equally as exhilarating for the charging attacker or on-foot defender. Number 5. Character Customisation. Back to Battlefront again, and although the character customization options are limited, it's nice to have a little control over the appearance of your avatar. Sure, weapon skins are nice, but wouldn't it be cool if you could choose whether or not your American medic is wearing a doughboy helmet, or British scout stalks the undergrowth donning a hooded shroud? So that's 5 things I want to see from Battlefield 1's DLC. How about you? Why not comment below? Until next time, you've been watching GooseOnMyArmGaming.